Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Tyler Rugge. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about rabbit diets, and I'm going to be talking about what I like to feed my rabbits. I'm just going to be explaining it because I get a lot of questions about what I feed my rabbit. And when I've talked about what I feed my rabbit and where I get the food from, I get questions about why I do that. So I'm just going to be explaining it in today's video and talking about some different staples for your rabbit that can be really good for them, as well as some healthy treats and things you can give your rabbits. So if you guys are interested in that, then you've come to the right place. Over the years of owning rabbits, I have learned a lot about them, a lot about their diet and different needs, and I feel like I'm still constantly learning about everything that I have. So I thought I would just share some of that information with you. I've tried a lot of different hays and pellets and like treats for them, and I'm just gonna be talking about what I recommend. First thing I wanna talk about is hay, because obviously, hopefully a lot of you guys know this, but hay is a super important part of rabbits' diet. Their diet should mostly consist of hay. They need to have 24/7 access to hay, so you always wanna make sure they have hay available in their cage that they can get to. Hay is super important because it helps them with digestion, and it just helps keep passing things along in their digestive tract. So if they stop eating hay, then it can actually cause blockages, which obviously will then cause your rabbit to stop eating and can cause a lot of health issues. You don't want that. So you just want to make sure your rabbits always have hay. Now, hay is a very simple thing to get, very simple. It's pretty much grass. But there's a ton of different types of hay, which can get kind of confusing. There's a ton of different places you can get hay from. I want to talk about, first of all, where should you get your hay from? So you have a lot of different options. You have the feed store, so things like Tractor Supply, where they sell like farm goods. They sell like different foods for like farm animals. So they tend to sell hay in pretty big bulk for very cheap, which is why a lot of people choose to get hay from places like Tractor Supply, because you can get like a huge bale of hay for like $12. It's really cheap. So that's why people go there. You can also get hay from the pet store. Now the pet store has a few different hay options, but I think the best one is Oxbow, because Oxbow has just the best quality hay out of all the hays I've seen available at the pet store. You can also obviously order hay cheaper online on places like Chewy, stuff like that, where you can get big boxes of Oxbow hay. And then we have where I would recommend getting hay 100% of the time for your rabbits, which is this lovely website called Small Pet Select. And this isn't an ad. I'm not being sponsored by them. Like, I genuinely just love Small Pet Select. I've literally been getting stuff from Small Pet Select since before I even had a YouTube channel. When I first got my rabbits, like I was researching online and I found them. Let me tell you, their hay is like the best quality hay I have ever seen. You might be wondering, why would I order hay online when I can get hay from the feed store for really cheap, when I could go to PetSmart and get hay? This is a question I get a lot, I feel like, because a lot of people ask me, Tyler, why don't you just go to Tractor Supply and get hay? It's so much cheaper. So the main reason I don't get hay from the feed store is the quality of the hay. There is a really big difference. Hay from the feed store is a lot cheaper. It's a lot more inexpensive. However, there is a noticeable difference in the quality. So I'm gonna show you guys hay from Small Pet Select. It smells amazing, fresh, like it looks visually a lot higher quality than if you look at hay from the feed store. What you also might be wondering is, Tyler, does it matter if it smells nicer and looks fresher? Like, is that a good enough reason to spend significantly more money for hay, essentially? Honestly, that's like up to you guys, I guess, if you think it's worth it or not. The number one reason I think why I stopped getting hay from the feed store, because I used to when I first got rabbits, because obviously it's the cheapest option. But since then, I've talked to a lot of people, gotten opinions from people, and I actually know more than one person who has had rabbits actually get sick from eating hay from the feed store and die. So hay from the feed store is sometimes actually, it can be contaminated with different things. I feel like there's a lot less regulation and like looking over the quality of the hay when they're harvesting it and stuff. So there have been times where hay from the feed store, places like Tractor Supply, is actually contaminated with animal feces. And obviously if your rabbit eats contaminated hay, they can then get sick. But specifically what has happened to people I know is their rabbits have gotten something called coccidia, which is a parasite and it's passed on through feces. So coccidia can actually be fatal for rabbits, especially if it's not caught pretty quickly and treated. Obviously, when I heard that, I was like, I'm not gonna get hay from the feed store anymore. And I don't wanna like freak anyone out who might be getting hay from the feed store because I don't think this is a super common thing. I feel like that's a pretty rare thing to happen. I don't think that like everyone who feeds their rabbits hay from Tractor Supply is going to kill their rabbits. Just the fact that I know more than one person who has had that happen, I don't want to take any chances, even if the chance is like 0.05%. Like I just don't want to take any chances. And not only that, but like I said, the hay that I get is like, you can just tell it's a lot better quality, a lot fresher. And to me, it's probably better for my rabbits to get the best quality hay I can get them. And I feel like they just enjoy it a lot more. And just in my eyes, and to me, it's worth it to spend the extra money on a higher quality hay. What I want to get into and talk about, now that I've talked about your options as far as where you can get hay, I want to talk about the different types of hay that there are, because there's multiple different types of hay. It can get confusing if you're like looking at different hays and you're like, which one should I give my rabbits? First one I want to talk about that I don't have because I don't really give it to my rabbits ever is alfalfa hay. So alfalfa hay is hay that people usually feed to their younger rabbits because it has a higher protein content. But typically, once your rabbit reaches around a year old, or just older than a year old when your rabbit's mature, you want to start feeding them other types of hay other than alfalfa hay, because alfalfa hay is really, really high in protein, so it's just too rich for them, and it can be really, really fattening for adult rabbits. Whereas for, you know, younger rabbits that are still growing, it can be really beneficial for them. So usually alfalfa hay is only fed to younger rabbits, but mature rabbits should be fed other types of hay that aren't quite as high in protein. So then that leads to all your other hay options that there are. What I got was the hay sampler box from Small Pet Select. And what's really cool about this is it has Timothy hay, second and third cutting. It has oat hay, and it also has orchard hay. So I'm going to talk about the difference between all of these hays. And what I also want you guys to realize is that if you guys use the link down below, you can get 15% off the Small Pet Select website. So if you want to pick up hay from them, if you want to pick up treats, pellets, bedding, toys, any of those things for your rabbit, guinea pig, other small animals, they sell stuff for a ton of different things, not just rabbits. You can get 15% off if you use my affiliate link down below, and obviously it also helps me if you use the affiliate link, so please use my link down below. First thing you'll notice is how I mentioned there's second and third cuttings of hay. Before we even get into anything, my buns, Desmond and Olive, look so cute, so I just need to show you guys really quick. Look at them. Desmond is just a loaf, and then, hello Olive. Hi. Ignore the poop, there's poop everywhere, it happens, I have rabbits. But wow. Look at them go. Amazing. I love them so much, oh my gosh. Wow. Anyways, okay. So like I mentioned, there's first, second, and third cutting Timothy hay. So I only have second and third cutting here in this box that I can show you, but just to go over the difference between what those mean. First cutting Timothy hay literally just means it's like the first hay off of the field for that year. It's their first time cutting it. so it's the first cutting. I'm literally just going to read this off of the Small Pet Select website because I don't like have this memorized. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. First cut hay. This is the first hay out of the field for that year. When cut before the hay blooms, this is a good hay. At this point, the stem will still be relatively thin and flexible and nutrition values right in line for small animals. This hay usually has a higher fiber content and a lower protein and fat content. Then there's second cutting hay, which is like the most common type of Timothy hay, I would say, that most people feed their rabbits. Typically there's gonna be more leaves and stems, it'll be thinner. Protein and fat levels are a bit higher and crude fiber is a bit lower. The go-to hay for healthy adult animals. And then there's third cutting hay. It says it's very pretty, soft and leafy, has higher levels of protein and fat, lower fiber, call it rich, nutrient dense. It says this hay is typically a treat hay mixed sparingly with other hay to encourage eating, or is used with elderly or thin animals. Third cutting hay is mostly you can mix it in with their hay to entice them to eat. It's gonna be a little bit more fattening. So again, if you have a sick animal that's not eating or is a little thin, that's something good to give them. It can also just be used as a little treat to kind of give them some variety, but you wanna usually go with second cutting Timothy hay if you're going to feed your rabbit Timothy hay as a staple. We're gonna open this sampler box. I'm probably gonna get covered in hay by the end of this video. So here it is. So right here is the second cutting Timothy hay. It just looks like your standard hay. And then over here is the third cutting Timothy hay. This is a lot softer. Like you can definitely feel the difference. And I'm just gonna be like really freaking weird for a second and I'm gonna smell the hay because it honestly smells so good. Yes, it smells so good. I don't know. Am I the only person who thinks hay smells good? Then moving on, we have the other two types of hay. So this yellowish looking hay is oat hay. And then this other green hay is orchard hay. Again, I'm just gonna be freaking strange. Okay, so the oat hay smells really good. Like that's probably my favorite smelling one. And then the orchard grass hay honestly doesn't have a whole lot of a smell to it. But the oat hay, oh my God, that smells so good. So Timothy hay, orchard hay, and oat hay, honestly, there isn't a big difference between the three of them. They have very, very similar nutritional contents to them. Really, any of the three can be fed to your rabbit as a staple, but a lot of people actually recommend feeding them a variety or a mixture of the three because it just gives them a variety, you know, something different every once in a while, and it's just a lot more fun for them, which is why it's also really cool that Small Pet Select sends you like a sampler box of all of them, and then you can also kind of figure out like what your rabbit's favorite is. Obviously with any animal, I always recommend giving them a variety. If you were just feeding your rabbit Timothy hay all the time, it would get a little boring for your bun and I'd be sad for them. That might beg another question, which is whenever you hear people talk about rabbit food or what you should feed your rabbit, people always recommend Timothy hay. People always talk about Timothy hay. And you might be asking, Tyler, why haven't I heard anyone like tell me I should be just feeding my rabbit oat hay or orchard hay? And the simple reason for that is because Timothy hay is like the most common one. It's the most accessible and easiest to get, which is just the reason why everyone talks about Timothy hay. It's just the most common. Hi, Desmond. Is Desmond coming to say hi? Hello. He just sees me with this giant box of hay and he's like, give me that. Once again, these are the different types of hay. So second cutting Timothy, third cutting, oat hay, orchard grass. You can get all of them at Small Pet Select. And again, if you use my link in the description, my affiliate link, you can get 15% discount, and that's like pretty cool. Who doesn't love saving some money? So obviously the next most important thing for your rabbit is vegetables, which vegetables, there's a huge variety of vegetables you can give your rabbits. You can just look up a list of like rabbit safe vegetables or vegetables you should feed your rabbits and just give them a big variety, honestly, just so they're getting a bunch of different sources of vitamins and a mix of everything. Like I say, and I stress all the time, variety is key. Rabbits aren't eating the same thing all the time in the wild, so why should they do that in captivity? So they do need vegetables every single day. You wanna give them a good variety You want to avoid things that are high in sugar. So one thing you want to avoid that surprises some people is carrots are actually pretty bad for rabbits because they're very high in sugar. So they're very fattening and just not good for them. So don't give your rabbit carrots. One thing that Small Pet Select has that I love is they sell like herbal blends and different greens that are like dried that you can give your rabbits. And obviously you want to give your rabbits a lot of fresh vegetables, but these are really good too, just to kind of give them something different, because like this one is called Heavenly Green Crunch, and it has dandelion leaf, dandelion root, raspberry leaf, nettle leaf, lemon verbena, chamomile, lemon balm, rosemary, linden leaves, flowers, green oak tops. What I also love is they come in paper packaging, so it's like environmentally friendly. Hello, it's 2019, stop using plastic. And watch this. I just got some in my hand. How to get a bun to come to you, 101. Treats. So they have different blends like that, which is really good just to give them, again, more variety in their diet. A lot of fresh vegetables are also very key. And then the next thing that you might be asking is about pellets. So people have mixed feelings on pellets. A lot of people will tell you that you don't need pellets in your rabbit's diet if you're giving them a good variety of hay. And I personally agree with that. I think if you're giving your rabbit a really good variety of vegetables and a variety of different types of hay, I think that they can probably do completely fine without pellets. They're not eating pellets in the wild. So if you're giving them a good variety, then pellets probably aren't absolutely necessary. However, if you give your rabbit a little bit of pellets, it's not gonna hurt them. Just make sure you're giving them a good high quality pellet. So Small Pet Select has a good quality fresh pellet, but if you're looking for a pellet that's accessible, if you want to go to PetSmart or Petco and just go get some pellets, I would recommend Oxbow pellets. Oxbow is probably the best like pet store pellet I've seen. A lot of rabbit pellets on the market are absolute garbage and I wouldn't recommend them. So if you're gonna do pellets, do Oxbow or preferably do Small Pet Select. And they typically make pellets that are alfalfa based and they make Timothy based pellets. So like I mentioned before, alfalfa is, I have so much trouble saying alfalfa. Alfalfa is for younger rabbits. So if you have a rabbit that's not mature, it's still growing, then you can go ahead and give them alfalfa pellets if you're gonna give them pellets. But if you have an adult rabbit and you're gonna give them pellets, give them Timothy-based pellets. I personally give my rabbits pellets not very frequently. I maybe give Desmond and Olive a little scoop of pellets like a couple times a week. Really not too frequently because I do give them a variety. I just give them pellets because they love them, and also because it just, you know, it's fortified with a lot of different vitamins and things that they need. And I just think it gives me a good peace of mind that they're getting all their nutrients that they need. And then we're gonna get into talking about, Desmond's like back, he's like, ooh, are we talking about treats? Cause yeah, we are. We talking about treats. So like I said, they sell herbal blends on Small Pet Select, which make good treats. Another thing that would make good treats are fruits. You wanna make sure any treat, fruits included, give your rabbit very sparingly because these are usually high in sugar. So don't be giving your rabbits anything crazy like an entire banana or like, you know, an entire apple or something. Just like a little slice of fruit as a treat is fine. But another great option is Small Pet Select sells rabbit treats that are, you know, natural, like really just good quality, and bunnies love them. So the two things that they sent me to try were Healthy Snackers Berry Basil Mini Cookies, and then banana chips. And on the banana chips, it does say we recommend no more than 1 slice per day for rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, mice, rats. The only ingredients on the banana chips are banana and coconut oil. And then the only ingredients on these cookies are ground Timothy hay pellets, oats, strawberries, raspberries, and basil. So these are like very like whole food, natural, high quality. That's why I love them. I don't like giving my animals that nasty processed garbage that they sell at the pet store. So here we have one of the berry basil mint cookies. Desmond freaking loves it, 10 out of 10. The good crunch. So here we have a banana chip, Desmond.
Yes. No, Desmond, you can't just sneak more treats.
Olive, do you want some treats? What the heck are you doing down there, Olive?
Come on.
Olive. Oh, Olive's coming.
Olive, right? Guys, going crazy over these hecking cookies. This one's Olive's. Desmond. Settle down. Olive. There you go. Olive's like, I'm gonna run away with this.
Anyways, needless to say, the rabbits are crazy for these treats. Stop. They're also freaking crooks. So I would definitely recommend mainly just using like little pieces of fresh fruit for the treats. But if you want to get other fun things for them to snack on, I would definitely recommend the treats that Small Pet Select sell. And again, why wouldn't you get stuff from Small Pet Select when you can use my link and get 15% off? So yeah, I hope you guys found this video to be helpful. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week. Also, don't forget to check out my social media. My vlog channel will be linked down in the description below. And I will see you guys in my next video.